Your ancestors were not confused on what a man is. While we're busy spending on average 6, 7 hours a day on the internet, wasting away in some gaming chair, addicted to simping over e-girls that we'd never dare talk to in real life, our ancestors were out conquering new land. They braved the wild. They got the girl. They raised a family that they were willing and able to fiercely protect. We think things have gotten so much better the more we've opened our minds. Are you sure about that? Take a look at these statistics. Does that look better to you? I say no. I say it's gotten worse and it's only going to get worse the further we remove ourselves from true masculinity. And don't get me wrong, I do believe in open mindedness. I don't think our progression has been all bad. But we've gone too far. I believe the modern man has sacrificed too much of his nature. We've left behind too much of what makes us men. We are in crisis, right? We don't know our identity. You, the guy watching, you don't know your place as a man, and I don't blame you. I was you. Well, you found this video, and I'm glad that you did, so let me try to help you in this time. Today, I'll be sharing my philosophy on true masculinity, and I'm also going to tell you why you will never be a man if you don't make certain changes. So go ahead and like the video, and we'll get started. I believe in the power of archetypes. I believe men need ideals to look up to. As I went through my personal journey of what it means to be a man, as I struggled with all of these insecurities surrounding manhood, I fell down every masculinity rabbit hole out there. I spent actual years reading every book on the subject, watching every YouTuber who talked about the subject. Hell, it was all I talked or thought about for, like I said, actual years. I became obsessed with knowing what a man was supposed to be and how to be one. In all of that searching, I did eventually find my answer. I developed this masculine ideal that I'm going to share with you guys, and I got the answer I was looking for. I finally have peace in my heart about this subject, right? It's not bothering me anymore. So I want to share that. I want to give that to you who's watching, you who might be struggling with this right now, who was where I was just a bit ago. Let's discuss the men who lived with all of the grit of the human animal within, but who also possessed the humanity of modernity. These savage gentlemen taught me how to live my life according to the cowboy ethos. The myth of the American West, particularly that which is shown in old Western films and the novels of Louis L'Amour and Zane Grey, that's where you'll find my masculine ideal and where I believe the truest showcase of masculinity lies. In these stories, you'll find men living in this odd, untamed middle history. They're caught between the world of primitive, barbaric survival and our modern era of progression and comfort. Their way of life reflects this dichotomy. The Western hero is a self reliant man who can brave the elements, work with his hands, hunt, and fight. He is ambitious and courageous in his pursuit for new land. He will leave comfort in search for more. He will fight and he will die to found his home front. So he has a strong grasp over all of these traditionally masculine concepts, right? All the ones that little boys really admire and look up to and play, pretend in their free time. All of these characteristics that might be considered toxic today. These guys are bold, adventurous, strong. However, in these stories, the cowboy possesses what psychologist Eric Erikson calls generativity. This means they have a grasp over the key concept to masculinity, being of service to others. A man does not lead for his own egocentric pursuits or to raise himself up. He leads in service of those around him to give his people a better life. As Ryan Michler has asserted, masculinity is about protecting, providing, and presiding. These are not selfish aims. A man is not made for his own self-indulgence. This is a part of our current crisis. We have this obsession with ourselves. We are overindulged in our vices and in our thoughts. We are so far removed from the real world dangers and survival aspects of living that we've retreated up into our minds. And this is what has led to the type of overthinking and insecurity that has men staying indoors, trying to read about what a man is rather than going out and being one. Technology has driven this divide between you and reality. Overemphasis on ideology has put a wedge between you and reality. The point is, our masculinity, it can't breathe within four walls stuck in front of a screen all day. There is an adventurous cowboy nature still within you. As John Eldredge said, a man is wild at heart. If this video does nothing else, I hope that it encourages you to get offline and to go outside. Reconnect with that human animal that's still lying dormant within you. The cowboy, now he had a necessity to exercise and live with it every day. He had to learn to live in balance with it because he still had a family. He was building up his home for his kids and his wife. He lived in that balance, but it's your turn. You're so flopped over to the one side of civilization and progression that you've completely negated and forgotten about the true harsh realities of the world. You got to work with your hands again. You got to get brutal again. You got to become a little bit of a savage again. That sounds a little bit cringe, but it's true. Take on the cowboy ethos and take back your masculinity. Look, I've got far too much to say on this topic, so I guess this is just going to be part one. We'll come back to this. I will see you all next time when we are talking about manhood according to the Vikings. Before I go, you watching, I think that you'll really like the last video I made. It was 7 habits that changed my life, that got me off of my in-laws' couch, got me into my own place, made me stand out as a man and as a leader. These 7 habits, nobody's doing them. And so if you implement them, your circumstances are going to change. Your life's going to change. People are going to notice you. Check that video out. I think it'll help. So go watch that video, but then get offline. Go outside. Be a man.